Okay, so after a couple days, your project will have dried. I took your pots and I put them out in the air to dry. Now when you get yours back, it could be something like this, which is called greenware, which is where the water has evaporated out of it and it's hard. It's just not fired yet. It's very fragile. Or if you have a little bit of water left, it's called leather hard and it feels a little bit more wet and cold. This is kind of a fun time where you can go in and trim your pot a little bit or make it a little bit more perfect. You can also take some of the tools with some of the knives and fix it up a little bit if it got rough in some places. This is what you want to do before you decorate. The problem is you have to be very, very gentle with your pot when you do this because it can break very easily. So when you hold the pot, try to hold it carefully. Don't put too much pressure on any one part. And I think that the best idea is just to work with it a little bit and then focus on the decoration. You can still use slip for any of your edges if you want to smooth them out by rubbing your finger along them. Just don't add too much water or it will become weak. And it won't dry fast enough when you go to paint it. For some of you guys, I wrote your name for you, but this could be a good time to practice writing your name in Arabic. And you can take a needle tool or a pokey tool and you can try writing it. I'm going to write Sudi's name here. Trying Arabic script for the first time. Okay, it's making a lot of mess, but then when I scratch it off, you can see the letters a little bit better. Or in this case, the script. Not great, but pretty good. The next step is going to be to add some decorations using a black special paint called Underglaze. This paint doesn't get shiny, but it's going to be fired along with your pot, and we can scratch designs into it after we paint. So I've already painted right here with the black underglaze, and it dries super fast. When you paint, you want to make sure that you wipe the brush off on the sides so it doesn't drip. And then as you paint, just put on a nice even coat like this, and sometimes you can go over it if there's air bubbles that pop open. See right there, there's just teeny little air bubbles right in this area right here, so I can go over it one more time. And think about what kind of designs you want to scratch into the side of your pot. You could do something that's decorative. It could be something like flowers and vines. You could do like a sun and moon decoration. You could do your name in Arabic. You could do some of the symbols that you've seen and some of the pottery that Miss Rita has shown you. You could do a winter snowflakes. You could do just patterns like stripes and different shapes. Triangles and circles. I'm sure you know a lot of these words in Arabic, so you could practice saying to Miss Rita what kind of pattern or what kind of thing you're drawing. Here's a picture of an ancient Greek pot. They did amazing designs with red and black clay and glaze. Here's a Navajo pot with a cool kind of tulip design. And then here are some pots from Lebanon where you see different stripe patterns and cross-hatching patterns. This one shows grapes and other kind of vines and spirals. And then this one has some repeating spirals and circles. All of these could be ideas for you. And then when this is dry, you go back into the dry part with your needle tool or with some sort of a scratcher tool, and you can remove the black underglaze to give it a design. So for example, I'm just going to take this needle tool here and I'm going to scrape upwards and just create some vertical lines. And I'm removing that underglaze I just put on and exposing the red clay underneath. It's not perfect, but I think that it will look cool after this is fired to have the contrast of the red and the black together. While you're working, you want to avoid the areas that are wet. If you scrape a tool through the wet area, you're not going to get the nice clean red and white effect. It could kind of blur it. One idea is to blow on this to make it dry a little bit faster. I'm going to skip right here because it's still a little bit wet and continue with my stripe decoration all the way around my cup. If you make a mistake, you have a couple options. Let's say you drew something incorrectly or you didn't like how it turned out. So let's say I was doing an Arabic letter here. If I didn't like how it turned out, I could either scrape away at it with my tool and try to erase it, like this, and do it again. Or I could just cover it with the black glaze and then scrape away at it again and hopefully do it better the second time. You don't always have to scratch designs into your underglaze. I painted the bottom black and I'm just going to leave it like this. But on my handle I'm choosing to scratch away a little flower design, and then I will unite this flower design with the stripes on the side and give it a stem that kind of looks like those stripes. Okay? Decorate your pot, and when the class is over, you're just going to set it out to dry, and then we will put it in the kiln and get it back to you once it's been fired. Our last step will be to put a clear glaze on it so that we can use it to put food in.